Hey there, welcome to our new video series. So this is the three-step system to build a six-figure e-commerce business in 12 months or less. You are watching part one of this three-part series. I'm Matt Clark, one of the founders of Amazing.com, and I have with me two very special guests who are also going to be doing some training with us in this video series, and I'll let them introduce themselves right now.
Hey, thanks, Matt. I'm Mike McClary. I've been selling online now for about 9 to 10 years, and I'm really excited to be here today to help deliver the first of three steps to really building a successful Amazon business.
And I'm Devin Dorsch, and I've also been selling for about 8 years. And I'll be sharing how to run traffic on Amazon.
All right, thanks guys. So just to make sure that the video comes through as clear as possible and you can see everything on the slides, we're gonna go ahead and shut off our cameras and then jump into the training. All right, so before we get started, I want to give a quick disclaimer, just like if somebody is doing some training on a health idea, they'd have to give a disclaimer, also a medical disclaimer. In our case, we're talking about making money and building businesses, so we have our own set of disclaimers. So we can't guarantee you're gonna succeed. Building any business, including all the ones that we've built, involve risks. Hard work, time, and luck play big parts in our success as entrepreneurs, but the process we share with you to build an e-commerce business today has worked for us and some of the people that we've taught. But go ahead and assume that our results and the results of anyone we share in this webinar are not typical. However, it's our opinion that the model we show you in this video series is well worth the effort and the risk. A big thing about e-commerce today is that the game has changed. This product on the left by a company called Zesty Paws is a pet product, little bites that they chew to sort of improve their gut health. This is a basic kind of product that you're going to learn how to sell and how to find on this training series. This brand was sold for $610 million, which is absolutely insane. This kind of thing did not exist before. When we first started doing e-commerce, teaching e-commerce, you were a super success. If you were doing 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, that was massive. Nowadays, these kind of brands are being bought for millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, and even hundreds of millions of dollars. This is an article from a company called Marketplace Pulse that puts out a lot of good data on, especially on Amazon. And they said Amazon aggregators, which an aggregator is these companies that have raised a ton of money basically to buy the exact kind of businesses that we're teaching you how to build today. So Amazon aggregators raised over $12 billion in 2021. That's just in 1 year. That doesn't include all the money raised before then. $12 billion just to buy businesses exactly like the one you're learning how to build in this video series. This is Amazon itself. As you can see, this blue section keeps growing. That blue section is what's called third-party sales, which are all the sales that people like us and people like you sell stuff on Amazon. So that's about $390 billion last year alone. The pie on Amazon keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single year. E-commerce is not going backwards. It just keeps growing. Amazon's reaping a lot of those rewards, but there's also a lot of opportunities outside of Amazon, which we're going to get into much later in the video series. So the reason we recommend you start on Amazon is not because we get paid by Amazon or anything like that. It's just because it's the easiest and best place to get started. First off, there's $400 billion in third-party sales, like we just talked about. Hundreds of millions of people are already there looking to buy stuff. It does 80% of the work for you. They handle most of the customer service. They are your website. They handle all the payment processing, returns, fraud, all that kind of stuff that you would have to deal with on your own website. They do a lot of the fulfillment for you, picking and packing and order processing and all that kind of stuff that if you didn't sell on Amazon, you'd have to figure out on your own. They also have these massive automated warehouses like you can see in that picture all over the world to store and ship out your products. So you can literally run your business with just a laptop. There's instant trust on Amazon. People trust buying on Amazon. And there's 153 million Amazon Prime members that are sitting there ready and able to buy your stuff and get free 1 or 2 day shipping. Amazon keeps bumping up the price of the Prime membership, and it's not hurting it at all. It keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, which is a huge advantage to selling on Amazon. So this is the main reason we recommend you start there, but eventually you're going to want to sell beyond Amazon to increase the value of your business. And once again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But there's a few challenges. So in this business, there's been a lot of challenges, especially over the past couple of years. E-commerce has grown like crazy, but there's been a few things that have not been so great if you're looking at this business. First off, because there's been so much money made and available in e-commerce and on Amazon, it's created a lot of competition. A lot of people are not just sitting there saying, oh, I'll just let all those other people make all that money. I'm going to go see if I can make some also. So I just did a quick search for Bluetooth headphones, and there's over 10,000 results for Bluetooth headphones a lot. That's a lot of people fighting for that one keyword. There's also ads all over the place now. So when the Amazon advertising platform was launched a few years ago, it was amazing. It was super profitable, very easy to run. Nobody was really using it yet. Now it's such a huge part of Amazon's business that they started putting it everywhere on their site. Costs have increased, competition's increased, so you really got to know what you're doing today with the ad platform. Also, global shipping rates, if you've been watching this at all, increased about 5 times in about a year and a half during the pandemic. Now, this is likely temporary. As you can see, it's kind of trailing off and going down now back to normal rates, but it's still pretty high, and this all came because, a lot of factories and shipping ports shut down due to the pandemic. And then, people all of a sudden started ordering a ton of stuff. They started getting, had a lot of extra money. They couldn't really travel. They shifted a lot of their purchases from services to hard goods. And that meant that there became this big backlog in shipping. And so shippers just raised the rates to kind of account for all this. Now, eventually this is going to turn back around, and already has started, but this has caused a lot of challenges in this business. So the question is, what do? There's this massive opportunity with people building $1 million, $100 million businesses, and there's $12 billion looking to buy these kind of businesses, but there's also big challenges at the same time. We need a new game plan that works today. We need a revolution in how we think about this business. Here's what it is, because we're building a real life-changing business. This isn't just some short-term hustle where you make a few $100 or a few $1,000, then you're off doing something else. It's a path to create massive wealth. If you're serious about building a business, about creating financial freedom for yourself and for your family for the long term, forever, so you never have to work for somebody else again, you're in the right place. We must think like real entrepreneurs today. If we do, anything is possible. How do I know this is possible today? Because I've done it. Over the last few years, I've built an e-commerce brand completely outside of Amazing that's done over $44 million in sales and is valued at about $40+ million right now, which is crazy. This is unheard of, say 5-10 years ago for this kind of business. It's possible today. This is also somebody that we've taught, Anna, who is here in Colorado, and this is a screenshot she sent us doing over $400,000 in sales in a single month. She built this kind of business starting right where you are today with some training like this, and we taught her how to build this kind of business. She just sold it last year for over $1 million. She was working a job, she did this part-time. That's how we know this is possible today. There are 3 steps we must follow to build a 6-figure business in 12 months or less. Step number 1, pick a good product to sell. Step number 2, create a great product page. And step number 3, get the right kind of traffic. Now, who are we? We're going to teach you all this stuff, but why should you listen to us? I'm Matt Clark. I've sold over $200 million online. I've helped students sell over $9 billion in their own e-commerce businesses. Been on Inc. 500 list 2 times now with the e-commerce brand that's completely separate from Amazing. I'm doing the stuff that we're teaching here. I've been featured in Forbes, CNBC, Entrepreneur, lots of other publications, and I just moved to Colorado, which is amazing. I was in Austin for about 12 years and now relocated to the mountains of Colorado. Then we have Mike McClary, who's going to be coming up next. He's the owner of a 7-figure e-commerce brand. He's helped thousands of people get started. He's a top Amazon marketing expert. He's spoken to thousands on stage, and he is now a new empty nester in St. Louis. Also big life change, but a little bit different. And so then we've got Devin, who's going to be joining us to teach the traffic side of our training here. He's also the owner of a 7-figure e-commerce brand. His brand, a grilling company, has been featured twice on the Inc. 5000 list as well. He's a member of multiple private masterminds, so he's got an insider look at everything going on in this business. He was a former accountant turned full-time entrepreneur, following the exact same kind of training that you're going through today. And he just joined us to help more people change their lives and achieve financial freedom here at Amazing. And, I'm not going to go through a bunch of this sort of stuff, but we've been doing this for a long time. We've worked with cool people like Richard Branson of the Virgin Group, Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Sarah Blakely, billionaire founder of Spanx, who just sold a massive chunk of her business to a private equity group. We've been featured in all kinds of other publications. All we're trying to say is that we do this stuff every day. We've been doing it a long time, and we're here to help you. We're here to show you how to build your own six-figure business in 12 months or less. Now, the real goal of business is the freedom to do what you want. To get freedom, you need to increase your wealth to have more options. And the best way to do this is to build a cash producing asset. So now what does it take to create a six-figure or $100,000 plus business? Let's say your first goal is $100,000. You're probably likely going to want to go way beyond that, but your first goal is to build a $100,000 business. The average multiple for this kind of business right now is about 1 times your sales. So if you want to build a $100,000 business, you need to sell about $100,000 a year annualized. That means your weekly sales, which comes in the annualized part, your weekly sales are a little less than $2,000 per week. Now, the kind of business we're going to show you how to build, the average selling price is about $30 for a typical product. That means you need to build a business with about 9 units per day sold. That's how you get to a six-figure business. That's your first milestone. Just 9 units a day of the kind of product we're going to show you how to sell in this training series. This is somebody who did just that. She launched her first product in March of 2021. She said on day 17, she had basically sold $10,000 in a single month. And so that's $2,500 a week. That's well over a $100,000 business following the exact same steps that you're learning here. So the 3 steps to a six-figure business in 12 months or less: pick a good product to sell, create a great product page, get the right kind of traffic. Video number 1 is the one that we're in today. Mike is about to take over and talk all about how to pick a good product to sell. In the next video, we're going to cover the next 2 steps: creating a great product page, getting the right kind of traffic. Devin's going to teach that last part. And then in the final video, video number 3, we're going to talk about how you take this exact kind of business and go from 6 figures to $1 million plus and beyond. The exact same kind of business using the right kind of growth framework. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're on step number 1 with picking a good product to sell. Here is Mike McClary.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Matt, and welcome everyone to the first of our 3-step video series on how to build a 6-figure e-commerce business in 12 months. As Matt already mentioned, there are 3 steps to success, and that's to pick a good product, create a great product page, and then get the right kind of traffic. But one thing you might be asking yourself is, what does this really look like over the next 12 months? Because that's our entire goal, to do this in a 1-year period. Well, let's go take a quick look at that right now. So if we break this down, these 3 steps into, let's call them 3-month chunks, we can very easily see how we can accomplish all this in 12 months. The first one, to find your good product to sell, can be done in 3 months or less. And that's because there's a couple different steps involved. You'll want to get your account set up. You'll want to find your product. Then you also need to find a supplier. And then finally, by the end of those first 3 months, you'll want to place your order. After that, then there's a lot of things going on in the background that you don't have to worry about. Your manufacturer is going to be making the product, then your freight forwarder is going to be shipping those products to you. So that gives you time to really focus on the second step, which is create a great product page and prepare everything for your launch. Then once your products have arrived and you're ready to kick off your launch, that's when you're going to launch your product and start working on PPC, or pay-per-click advertising, which Devin's going to show you exactly how to do it, how to kick off the launch with that, and also how to optimize everything so you're continually getting more sales and more profits. And then really there's a 4th step also, and Matt already mentioned that as well. You repeat this process, you grow your business, and you scale it to $1 million or more. All right, well, let's jump right into the training and start learning how to pick a good product to sell. So with this step, there are multiple steps inside of it. The first one's going to be get set up to sell. Then you're going to want to find your product. We'll show you how to do that as well. You'll find a supplier to make that product for you. And then finally, you're going to place your order. Now, the first product, getting set up to sell, is pretty simple to do. And what we want you to understand is that no matter where you live, you may be thinking that you're going to sell on your own country's Amazon marketplace, because they're now all over the world. But what we want you to do is to start selling on Amazon.com in the United States. And the reason for that kind of goes back to one of the slides that Matt talked about earlier as well. If you look at the sales, and these just came in for 2021, Amazon did $314 billion in the United States. And if you look at how much sales they did in every other country, Germany did 37 billion, still very respectable. The UK did 32 billion, Japan did 23 billion, and then all the other countries combined did 63 billion. And if you add all that up, the United States, or Amazon.com, did more than twice the amount of the entire world combined. And because there's so much volume, so many customers buying in the United States, and because it's actually the easiest marketplace to get set up on, we want you to start selling on Amazon.com. Which leads me to the next question you might have. What if I don't live there? What if I live in Canada or somewhere in the UK or Germany or Japan? Can you still sell on Amazon.com? And the answer is yes. Used to be able to do this from about half the countries in the world, but last year in 2021, Amazon opened it up even more to nearly 100 additional countries that you could sell in. Now, depending upon what list you're looking at, there are about 195 different countries in the world. Amazon now lets you sell from 188 of them. That means that as of today, the only countries that you can't sell from are these 7 right here: Andorra, Cabo Verde, Cuba, Djibouti, Iran, North Korea, and North Macedonia. And they actually maybe open up even more of these throughout the year, because I think their goal is to let every country and every person in those countries sell from anywhere in the world on Amazon.com. Now, if you want to, and when you're ready to get selling on Amazon to get your own account, you simply go to sell.amazon.com and click on the sign up button on the screen there. They make it a very simple process, ask you a few things. You need some identification to prove who you are, also something that's going to show that you live where you do, and then the process is pretty straightforward. Now, the cost of that is about $40 a month. However, if you're watching this first video right now, we don't recommend that you create your account until after you've went through all of this training. And in reality, I'd prefer that you go through all 3 of the videos here to really make sure that you're not spending $40 a month until you've at least chosen your first product and are really ready to start selling on Amazon. Now, another question you might have as well, since we're selling on Amazon, is do you have to worry about storing all the products yourself, packing them up in boxes, and then shipping them to each of your customers? And the answer is no. Something called Amazon FBA does all this for you, and that's what makes it such a lifestyle business. Now, FBA means Fulfillment by Amazon, and it's the part of Amazon that handles all of the warehousing and shipping and order fulfillment needs to make this a true lifestyle business. And here's a visual picture of exactly how this all fits together. So there's you and there's me, there's Matt and there's Devin. Our job is to find products to sell and to create a brand, which we're going to show you how to do as well. Then Amazon already has all the customers, 150 million plus Prime members, plus more who aren't Prime, going every single day to their website looking to order the products. So they take care of that part for us as well. You're also going to learn how to find a supplier during this training who's going to manufacture the product and even help you get those products shipped to Amazon. So including those 3 parts right there, at the center of it all is Amazon. And Amazon FBA takes care of everything else. They're going to receive and store the products that you get shipped to them. They're going to pick those products off the shelves, pack those products into boxes. They're going to ship those products to your customers for you. They're even going to provide customer service in case there's any kind of shipping issues or something gets damaged in the mail. And they'll handle all the product returns for you, which is a big concern that I had. I always had these worries about customers wanting to send the product back to me. How do they send them a shipping label? How do I check to make sure the product's not damaged, that it's the same product? Amazon FBA takes care of all of that for you to make this a really simple lifestyle business that all you really need is a laptop or computer from anywhere, and you can manage it from wherever you want to live. Now, after getting set up to sell, the next step then is going to be to find your product, which is the beginning of this entire business. Now, in order to pick a good product, you need to know what makes a good product opportunity. And after years and years of selling on Amazon and finding products for ourselves and finding them for all the students we've taught, we found what makes a really good product opportunity. And there's just 4 things to think about. First is it must be a physical product. You don't want a digital product such as gift cards or music or video games, because we've just found that physical products are the ways to build a brand the fastest and easiest way, because they've been around forever. Physical products have been around for thousands of years, and they will be around for thousands more. And by finding your own physical product, you'll be able to build a brand and an asset that you can sell later on for millions of dollars, hopefully just like what Matt talked about before. You also must be able to private label that product. And if you've never heard of that term, I know that when I started out back in 2013, I had no idea what it was. And then once I learned what it was, I didn't even know that it was really that easy and that possible to do. But to think about it, look at these different milk thistle bottles right here. So this product is milk thistle, a type of supplement, and each one of these is exactly 1,000 milligrams of milk thistle. And if you really, a lot of these sellers right here, they could be getting that product made at the exact same plant that makes milk thistle, but they have a different bottle, they have a different label. It's the same product, but they're private labeling the product and building their own brand out of it. That's how easy it is to do for products like supplements or beauty creams. A lot of companies use the same suppliers. You just get your own bottle, your own label, and you have essentially private labeled the product yourself. Now you may be thinking, what about all these other products you buy online? Flashlights and tents and camping lanterns and I don't know, workout boards and stuff. How do you private label those? Well, it's actually just as simple as that. Look at these workout gloves right here. They're pretty much exactly the same. The one on the right might be a little shinier, but the first two that I'm looking at, those look very, very similar. The main difference is that the suppliers or manufacturer of these have laser printed a logo of the company that's selling this product right there. This could actually be made by the exact same supplier, but the suppliers that and the way that we're going to show you to find them, they know exactly how to do this, and they're very well versed in how to private label products and put your brand and your logo on their products so that you're creating your own brand of physical products. Now, in addition to having a physical product you can private label, you also want to make sure that you find a product that has high demand but room for competition. And having high demand simply means that people are already going onto Amazon and looking for that product every single day. That way, you know that you have sales, you know that you have a product that's going to be having demand right out the gate so that people will want to be looking for and buying your product. But we also want to make sure, though, that it's not overly saturated. Like Bluetooth headphones, for example, like Matt showed earlier, those are one that, yeah, there's plenty of high demand, but there's so many people selling that product that a new seller would not want to go in for their very first product. So we want that sweet spot of high demand, but room for competition. And lastly, you want to make sure that there's good profit potential, because if you can't make a profit off of a product, there's no reason for you to be able to sell it, because the whole goal here is to build a brand that's a profitable brand so that you can change your life. You can make enough money to quit your job, to eventually pay for your house, pay for your kids' education. That's something important for you, but you need to make sure you have good profit potential to not only do the things you want, but also to continue to grow the business. Now, in order to find products that meet these 4 different opportunity criteria, you also need to get a little more granular. And here at Amazing, we've been doing this for a very, very long time, and we've come up with pretty much this calculation or formula that finds products that meet that own good opportunity criteria. We like to find products that are priced somewhere between $17 and $100. You can go above or that or a little below that if you want to. We just found that this is the sweet spot where you don't have to spend too much on inventory, but you also make enough profit off of every sale, so you don't have to sell a huge amount of volume of products. You also want to make sure that the products you're choosing don't have any competitors that have a BSR or best sellers rank of less than 100. On Amazon, BSR is the way that Amazon gauges how well products are selling compared to everyone else. And it's simply like a race. So a product with a bestseller rank or BSR of 1 is the top selling product in its category. BSR of 2 is the second best, 3 is the third best, and so forth. And we know that when you get in these categories, where if you're anywhere in the top 100, those are massive products doing massive amounts of sales every single day. So what we recommend is to avoid those. Simply look for products that go above and beyond 100, and then there's still plenty of demand because Amazon's so big, but you're not going up against the very, very top selling products on Amazon. Next, speaking of competition, you also want to avoid products that have more than 2,000 reviews when you look at the average of the top 10. And there are a lot of products out there that meet the criteria here. You can see products that have less than 2,000 when you average the top 10 together. And that tells us that there's not a difficult entry point for you to come in, start making sales, and getting your own reviews in order to start competing with other sellers who don't have over 2,000 yet. Now, in addition to the pricing, the BSR, and also those average reviews being less than 2,000, there's something else called depth of market, a fairly relatively new term that we started talking about in the Amazon industry a few years ago, but it basically means, are there entry points along the way for a new seller to come in right away, start making a decent enough sales, scale up a little bit more and make more sales, and then finally get to the top and be one of the top 10. And the way that we look at this is that when you're looking for a product, you want to find a product that has 3 or more competitors that meet the following criteria. They're selling at least $5,000 a month. So you know that this has plenty of demand. They have less than 500 reviews. So these products haven't been around terribly long. They haven't, gotten thousand reviews. You want to make sure they're also selling for longer than 60 days as well, because what that indicates, it's not a brand new product that's just going through a product launch like Devin is going to be showing you, and they're not just getting a bunch of sales because they're kicking off their product right now or in the past couple months. If you find 3 or more products like this, that shows us as a really good entry point. Now, we also want to make sure that in addition to having a good entry point, You want to know you can start growing and scaling your sales. That's why we also want to find a product that has one or more competitor selling greater than 10,000 a month, less than 900 reviews, but still also selling greater than 60 days. It shows that if you think about this linearly, you have this entry point, you can easily move up and start making even more money relatively simply. And then later on, you can start scaling and really growing your business to $1 million or more. Now, we also want to make sure that there is profit involved. The way we look at it, we only look for products that have a profit margin of 25% or more. That gives you plenty of profit off of every sale in order to continue ordering more inventory and then also increasing your order sizes later on and potentially expanding your brand into more products. Now, another way of looking at your profit is we want to make sure we're getting a return on our investment of a greater than 75% ROI. What this means is that every time you sell a product, let's say for $10, you're not only getting back that $10 that you spent on making that product, but you're also getting back an additional 75% that you continue to put back into your business in order to continue taking profits out while growing the business as well. Now, if you're looking at this screen right here and thinking, holy cow, that seems like a lot for me to figure out all on my own, don't worry about it, because we've been doing this for a long time. We've actually worked with a software company that we became aware of called Zoof, in the past year or two, and we liked it so much that we actually invested into them in order to help build a tool called Product Spotlight. And this tool takes all those criteria we just talked about and does it automatically for you in order to sift through the millions of products on Amazon and pre-qualify them by putting them through all of that criteria that we just talked about. We also have gotten you, for watching this video here, a special 14-day gift trial. All you need to do is go to www.zoof.com/gift. It's going to pull up this screen right here. You do have to enter your name and credit card number because we do have to verify who you are, but you won't be charged anything during the 14-day trial. And if you find that after 14 days you don't want it, no harm, no foul. Just go ahead and cancel Zoof. You don't even get to send an email. You can do it right inside of the tool itself. But we want to make sure that you have access to this tool that we've been working on and that I'll be using in this training so that you can go out there and find all the profitable products that you want, even during this 3-part video series that you'll be going through. When you do that and you go into the Spotlight tool, this is what it's going to look like. You just answer a couple simple questions. First thing you do is you select your budget, and this budget is how much you want to spend on your first inventory order. That's going to include what you spend on actually paying the manufacturer to make the product and getting that product shipped all the way to Amazon as well. Next, you're going to pick the categories that you're interested in selling in. You can pick up to 5 at a time. You can always redo the search as many times as you want. And the only categories we recommend that you don't select are clothing, shoes, and jewelry, just because in our experience, going into clothing means you have to have a lot of sizes, a lot of colors, and your first inventory is going to be very expensive to do that. So we don't recommend you do that. And we also don't recommend video games because most of those are all digital. And like we mentioned earlier, we want you to focus on physical products. When you do your selection here and hit the go button, then you're going to be shown a list of all the potential products that you can sell. Now, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to hop over and pull up the Zoof Spotlight and show you exactly how it works. All right, so here I am inside of the Zoof Spotlight tool, and there's the little wizard I talked about earlier. You simply click on the next button. This is where we're going to select our budget. It starts off at $10,000. You can go all the way up to $100,000 or more if you want to. We do not recommend that. As a matter of fact, when you're starting off, we only recommend a maximum of $10,000 in your first inventory investment, but you can go as little as $1,000 if you want to. I'm going to start off with $5,000 because that's a really good sweet spot. It should get you plenty of units for your product to launch and also have that product shipped all the way to Amazon. Now I'm going to click next. This is where all the categories are at, and I'm going to pick 5. So let's go with beauty. How about baby products? We'll go with health and household, so we can see some vitamins and supplements in that. Pet supplies, we have a golden doodle here, so I'm going to be interested in those. And then sports and outdoors as well. Covers 5 pretty good categories there. I'm going to click find opportunities. Then Zoof Spotlight's going to do his thing, and within a matter of seconds, it shows all of these great product opportunities. Now, in case you're wondering how Zoof does this, I mean, what it did in a matter of seconds is because we spent years working on this. It goes through the millions of products on Amazon. It looks at the most detailed subcategory, which to Amazon is really a product. So for example, even though you may see health and household as a large, high-level category on Amazon, if you drill down into it, you would eventually find DMA, DMAE nutritional supplements. Also in health and household, you might find a sub detailed category called manual arm blood pressure monitors. Those are products. There'll be hundreds of products in that category, but that to me is an actual product. And every day, Zoof goes through all of these products on Amazon, and it does all the calculations that we just went through. Looks for the prices between $17 and $100. It looks to make sure that there are no average reviews in the top 10 of 2,000 or greater. It looks to make sure it has that depth of market of at least 3 sellers doing $5,000 or more, but less than 500 reviews, and 1 seller doing $10,000 or a month or more and less than 900 reviews. It does all that in the background, even looking at profit margins of 25% or higher and return on investment of 75% or higher, so that you don't have to do all of that. It's an amazing tool. There's nothing else out there, and it's going to help us start our journey on building our own brand. Now, if you want to check out these products in here, you simply kind of hover over the picture, and it's going to show you a larger picture on the right-hand side. This I'm not really sure what the DMAA nutritional supplements are. I've never used those. I know I've seen these manual arm blood pressure monitors. Looks like a lot of people have them in the home right now. These are facial polishes, baseball gloves, kind of interesting product I never would have thought of. We have sliding pads for baseball players. We have interior boat lights. Again, another product I would not have thought of. Every time that I run Spotlight for myself, and I still use this in my own business, I'm amazed at all the different types of products that I never ever would have thought of, but that are really good product opportunities. So I'm not really into boating. I enjoy doing it with friends who have boats. So I never would have thought that boat interior lights would be a good product opportunity that meets all of our criteria. So it's still great, even for us sellers used to doing this, to go through Spotlight over time to see what kind of opportunities are available today, because it's an ever-changing market. Now, inside of Zoof, you're going to learn a lot of great data points from it. In addition to, you don't need to know all of them because it's already done a lot of in the background, but if you want to check out some of the more detailed ones, you can see here that the monthly sales, so the monthly units that each product does, this one does over 1,000 per month. That equates to a revenue of nearly $30,000. The average of the top 10 for this product is $754. The average selling price of the top 10 is $28.53. We're estimating, so Zoof does a really good job of estimating the landed cost, and that landed cost is simply what you pay your supplier and what the shipping costs are to get it all the way to Amazon. So that combined for this one is $9.08. That means the monthly profit after expenses would be a little over $12,000, which is a profit margin of 41%. And I won't go through all these different calculations. You just know that you can go through as well and search all these products and check out ones that seem interesting to you. And that's what I would do, because there are thousands of products inside of here that meet our criteria. I would find some categories that are interesting for you, and preferably find at least 3 products that you believe that you might see yourself selling at some point in time on Amazon. One other feature you'll see is called the Zoof Spotlight Score. This is a way of, again, using our experience and knowledge in order to give you an idea of what product that we would sell. What would Matt or Devin or Mike sell if we were looking at a list of hundreds of products? They all look great. They're all profitable. They meet our criteria. How do you really pick one out? The Spotlight Score weighs 3 different things. It looks at the total investment amount you have to put into it. And to me, the less I have to invest, the better. Then it looks also at the amount of competition out there. And one way of looking at that is looking at the number of reviews that are out there and what it costs, how much you're actually spending and making every time that they get a review. And then it also looks at a couple other things out there as well that we would, as far as what's the total profit potential. So you look at the risk, you look at the competition, you look at the profit potential, and it comes up with this Spotlight Score. 100 is the highest, so the higher, closer you get to 100, then the higher this would rank on our list of products that we choose from. Again, you don't have to know all the calculations in there. Just know that if you get caught up and don't really know which one you might want to choose yourself, use the Spotlight Score, and the higher, the better for you as well. Now, let's hop back into the training now that you know exactly how to use Zoof Spotlight. Okay, so once you've found a product that's interesting to you, then the next step is going to be to find a supplier. And just like we have Amazon.com to find products that we want to buy in our lives, there's a site called Alibaba.com that helps sellers like us, or soon-to-be sellers like you, find thousands of manufacturers to make these products for you. If you go to Alibaba.com, you simply type in whatever product you're looking for, and you're going to see thousands of results of companies looking for you, looking for people like you to buy their products and selling online. Now, most of the products that you buy and we buy on Amazon can be sourced on Alibaba.com. And the ones that can't be, I'll walk you through shortly as well. But for example, let's imagine you were selling some kind of outdoor related products, such as a pocket chainsaw. I don't have one of these, but I saw these and this looked really interesting to me. So if you wanted to buy or find a supplier for a pocket chainsaw, you type in pocket chainsaw, and then there's two little things you could actually, two filters you could use on Alibaba to make sure you're really getting the cream of the crop suppliers. The first one is you want to select trade assurance. And that means that of all the thousand suppliers on Alibaba, Alibaba is going to make sure that the suppliers they show you participate in a program called trade assurance, which is basically an escrow program, where if you place an order with the suppliers shown on this screen, Alibaba is going to hold the money for you. So it doesn't go to the supplier. They hold the money for you until you tell Alibaba, yes, the manufacturer completed my order. And yes, this product is exactly what I ordered. And at that point, Alibaba releases funds to that supplier. So only the best suppliers are willing to participate in this because they know they have to really give you a quality product before they're going to get paid. That's why I like filtering on only people who accept that. Next, you can also check the verified supplier. This does an additional level of checks on Alibaba's end to make sure that suppliers that you'll be shown have been verified as legitimate manufacturers participating in Alibaba's program, so that again, you know you're dealing with a very qualified company. Once you do that, you're still going to see hundreds, if not thousands, of suppliers making products for you. And in this example here, you can see the top 4 that I see here are products that are priced for me. This is the cost for us to buy these before we sell on Amazon. The first one is a range between $2 and $2.98. Next one is between $5, $58, and $6, and so forth. And if you're wondering about why there's ranges, it's because the higher the quantity you're willing to buy, the better the discount that suppliers are going to give you. That's why there's always a range on it. It won't be just a flat price. But these prices are really low because when I go look on Amazon, again, I'm going to pull up the Zoof Spotlight tool. And this is actually the Opportunity. It's another tool inside of Zoof. It allows you to assess the top sellers of each product. I did a search for pocket chainsaw. I pulled up this tool called Opportunity Analyzer, and I can see here that the average price for pocket chainsaws is $25.55. And over on that screen before, we saw that even the highest price for the lowest amount quantity ordered was around $6. This tells me already, without even doing the math, this is a very profitable product. Now, even though the average price is $25.55, one of the top sellers is charging nearly $45 for this product. And yes, it looks like this picture here, they went ahead and added some additional features to make their product stand out, which we highly recommend. And I'm going to walk through that process as well. But this also tells me that in addition to selling it for $25, if you made your product stand out more, you could sell it for even more and get a higher profit margin as well. Now, when you're ready to reach out to the suppliers and ask them for some actual quotes, all you need to do is click on that contact supplier button that Alibaba shows on every search results page. Or if you actually go and look at an actual supplier on here, there's also the contact supplier button right there you can click on. It pops up a little chat option inside of Alibaba, just lets you basically send an email or chat with any of the suppliers on their system. Now, here's what you want to ask suppliers when you find one that is producing a product that you're interested in. First, you want to ask them if they can provide custom packaging, and you'll find that nearly all of them can. You also want to make sure that they have a few different color and logo options for you. You want to ask them what the production time is to make the product for you. You want to ask them what their pricing is and what the minimum order quantities are that you have to order. And then finally, what are the shipping dimensions? You may not need these right now, but later on down the road, that's going to help you come up with a very accurate shipping quote for your product. If you want to see what this looks like in a real message to them, you can take a screenshot of this right here. This is an actual email that I've sent for years to suppliers in order to get all these questions asked and then answered so that I can compare the different suppliers and prices among each other. Now, that's how you look for products on Alibaba.com, but what about products that are sourced in the United States? Because some people want to go ahead and look for products in the United States. Well, these products typically tend to be beauty products such as creams or lotions, or supplements like vitamins and minerals. And it used to be that we would always guide people away from US-based products. For years, we've done that simply because they tend to be a little more competitive, and finding products on Alibaba is so simple and fast, and it still is today. But as Matt mentioned earlier, there are some longer times to get products shipped. It's getting shorter now, it's normalizing, but it does take a while for the products to be shipped, and it may take a while for the products to be manufactured. So if you are interested in sourcing US products, we believe that now is a great time to do that. And when you're looking for those products, it's as simple as doing a Google search. There doesn't seem to be any certain type of site like Alibaba for US-based products, but you don't really need it because Google is so powerful. You simply put in the type of product you're looking for. So in this case, let's imagine we're selling, or we want to sell eye serum. You put the word private label in afterwards, and then Google will show you thousands, if not millions of results of companies that provide private label products like this. This one has 10.8 million results. It's not really 10.8 million private label manufacturers, but there definitely are hundreds of thousands, and going under Google, it makes it real easy to find them. What you'll want to do is then click on the links and go to their sites, find a way to contact them. Usually they have a contact me button right at the top or the bottom, and then ask them the exact same questions that we just went over for the Alibaba suppliers in order to get back quotes from them as well. Now, I mentioned this a little bit before, but one pro tip that we found, and it's actually really important if you want to really have your product stand out, is to make one improvement to whatever product you're going to be starting off with in order to really stand out from the crowd. That really is going to help you get more sales, get more traffic, get more customers. But one little improvement is an easy way to make your product stand out, and it's not as hard as you might think. Let me show you a little trick that we still use today in order to find what those one improvements can be. So again, here's that top selling pocket chainsaw. If you pull up the reviews and then actually click on the negative reviews, these are the ones we want to look at, it's going to go down to the bottom, scroll down, and show you all of the people that did not like this product. And the reason we want to check these out is because I want to see what didn't they like that I can improve upon when I get this product. So let's pull up Brian's review here. He says an absolute piece of junk. And the reason for that was the rope was very thin, and initially said he wondered how long it would last. And then down at the bottom, you find that he pulled on the rope once and the rope snapped. So now after seeing this, I'm like, maybe it's just one person. Maybe one person had a faulty product. Let's go check out some other negative reviews. Well, Stephanie says it wasn't worth their money because she wished the rope would have been stronger. And also Shadow7463 said something very similar, that the rope was getting stuck, it snapped, and they mentioned the rope at least 4 or 5 times in this review here, which tells me now, if that's more than just 1 or 2 people complaining about a very flimsy rope, that's immediately something that I can make one improvement on and have my pocket chainsaw be much better than even one of the top selling ones out there. So when I'd be reaching out to content suppliers, I would ask them definitely, how can I make the rope stronger so that it's better than competitors? It may cost a little bit more to do that, but as you can see here, if you can make a product, one simple improvement to a product that's better than one of the top sellers, it's an easy way to sell more and get your product up and selling quickly. So after finding your supplier, the next step is going to be to place your order. Again, Alibaba makes this really simple. Here's the page where we contacted that supplier. You see it on the lower right-hand side. That's the contact supplier button. Right above that is the start order button. They'll even allow you to get estimates for shipping right here. So if you don't want to deal with trying to ship the product at all, you could start your order on Alibaba. You could pay for it on Alibaba, and they'll take care of all the shipping for you as well. So let's summarize the steps for picking a good product to sell. First, you want to get set up to sell by going to sell.amazon.com. Then you want to find your product using the Zoop Spotlight tool. You want to find your supplier using Alibaba or even Google if you're looking for a US-based product. And then you want to place your order, which brings us to the end of the first step for building a great product, and that is finding a good product to sell. Next up then, we're going to be talking about building a great product page, and Devin is going to be walking through that. And then he's also going to take you on to walking you through how to get the right kind of traffic to really make your product get lots of great sales immediately from day one. All right, now let's recap and give you some next steps as well before you watch the next video. I want you to go out there and get your free gift trial of Zoof at zoof.com/gift. Gives you 2 full weeks to use Zoof. Then pick 3 products, put in your favorite categories, and find just 3 products that are interesting to you using Zoof Spotlight. And then as soon as video 2 is released, be sure to watch it right away. And that's it for this video. I'll see you in video 2.
Can you do that all over again? I don't think it was recording.
On those, so Mike, on those last 2 slides, you said I was gonna do the creating a product page. So I don't know if you want to read.
Oh, you know what? Let me redo it real quickly.
That was a good trial run.
All right, so that's step one, how to find a good product to sell by getting your account set up, finding your product, your supplier, and placing your order. Next up, in the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a great product page while your product's being manufactured and shipped. And then Devin's going to come in and show you how to get the right kind of traffic to really kick off your product launch and start growing your sales. All right, we do have a few actions that we want you to take before you watch video number 2. First, be sure to head to zoof.com/gift and get your free 14-day trial of Zoof. Then, using the Zoof Spotlight tool, I want you to find 3 products that you'd be interested in selling on Amazon. And then finally, as soon as video 2 is released, be sure to watch it right away. Now, that's it for this lesson, and I'll see you in the next video.